Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hey, welcome! You're just in time. You know what you're just in time for? You're just in time for my humble little channel. You're just in time. Before we get started here, just want to say a couple things. One, we're having a massive wind and snowstorm. It just came in, so if you hear any extraneous noises, that's what you're hearing. A minute ago, I just glanced out the window, and the storm came in. I got up, went in the kitchen. I told my wife, it's snowing. And my wife said, why? How do I answer a question like that? Why? Why? Because I'm a jerk, I guess. You're just in time. Today we're going to be taking a look at another awesome pop culture-y channel. This one's called Ready for History. That's the name of the channel. Ready for History. And today's episode that we're going to be taking a look at is the 1970s. Things found in every home. But before we do that, I'm going to ask a big favor from you. One, I want you to stop what you're doing. And then click that mouse. I want you to like. I want you to subscribe. I want you to share. But I also want a comment. I'd like to hear from you. If you're watching this channel, chances are you're missing an era from the past, like I am, especially in these crazy days. Or you're just a fan of pop culture type content. My name is Scotty Goff. I am your host. And I don't consider myself a pop culture expert. I'm more of a pop culture enthusiast. So here we go. Ready for History. 1970. Things found in every home. Let's watch.
Life in the 1970s was much simpler than it is today.
Yeah, like driving our muscle cars to Kmart.
Technology that seems to engulf every person we encounter. Socializing meant going out for a night on the town,
or in our rumpus room,
or even having people over for a gathering. If you think back to the
look at this. This was a trend back in the 60s and 70s. This was called a conversation pit, where the living room actually was dug, like excavated down, and that's where your sofas and stuff would be.
1970s, there were some distinctive items that you would see in homes, and no one sees these things today. So sit back and let's reminisce together.
This is this is Ready for History. 1970s, things found in every home. This is another really good channel. They do a really good job. So make sure you go to their channel. Make sure you subscribe and like and share, because they're doing some good work out there. Oh man, look at this reject from the Partridge Family guy here. Look at this.
Today, beadboard or shiplap is very popular
Shiplap.
for interior decorating.
Admiral Shiplap.
In the 1970s, it was all about wood paneling. It may cover one wall, or it might cover the whole entire room. The paneling was often made from plywood or pressured fiberboard.
And I loved it. I don't care what anybody. I know this is the one that gets a lot of hate from the 70s. I care not. I loved paneling. There's still paneling in my mom's den to this day, and I love it.
It was designed to look like real wood. It usually looked fake, but it went along nicely with the earthly feel that most 70s homes had. If the walls weren't lined with wood paneling, then you would probably see some funky wallpaper.
I'm surprised we got any sleep in the 70s with that kind of wallpaper.
There was an assortment of styles to choose from, but they were mainly sporting...
I want my wallpaper to look like the carpet in The Shining.
Geometric shapes and bright contrasting colors. Textured walls were also something found in homes. They might have been flocked or foiled paper or
Excuse me one moment.
possibly just textured plaster. But the texture and the
That was
colors
the 70s calling me,
usually made them
wanting their
irresistible
wall
to the
coverings
touch.
back. We don't do textured walls anymore in homes. That's how you were able to go down the hall at night. You didn't have to turn the light on. It was like Braille.
You figured out how you wanted the walls to look, it was time to move on to the floors. If there was one type of flooring that screams 70s more than any other, it would have to be wall-to-wall shag carpeting.
And if you had a sister, they would, I think on purpose, they would lose their jacks in that shag carpeting. So Christmas morning, between the stairs and the tree, you had to go through all these booby traps.
This interior design trend was huge.
Bungee
It was often
sticks.
found in eye-searing colors like bright orange.
I loved
Not
it.
only
Look,
was
I
this
don't.
a huge item to see in homes, it was also a huge item to
I know that looks weird, maybe to your sensibilities. I think that looks
maintain,
great.
from vacuuming
You had to
raking.
rake your own. You had to rake. They sold garden tools for your carpet. It was a rake. My aunt had really thick shag carpeting, and she used the regular rake. She didn't even have a carpet rake. She just used a
so
rake.
it would look good. Kitchen and bathroom floors in the 70s had a distinctive style, and they were by no means plain.
And if you dropped food, no one could notice.
Linoleum was available in lots of bold patterns and colors.
Oh, Harvest
Most
Gold.
households loved them because they were durable and easy to
We didn't have Harvest Gold appliances. My mom had Harvest Gold carpeting in the living room, but our appliances were avocado green, like the Brady Bunch. It was awesome. The stove, the refrigerator, the oven, the washer and dryer, the downstairs bathroom, the toilet and sink, avocado gold. And those are the good
They
fats.
clean up. Some of the patterns that could be seen during the time featured geometric shapes, while others took their inspiration from nature. Fireplaces were another staple of 70s homes.
If I had bought a house and there was a room that looked like that, I wouldn't change one thing. I think that looks great. I love
They
it.
were made of rough rock or stone.
Rough
that would
Rock.
Take up the whole wall.
That was my wrestling name in
They
high school.
really had that
My
look
professional
of
wrestling name,
a
Rough Rock.
lodge or cabin, and they certainly made a statement.
Our statement was, we don't want to find the cat's vomit.
If you didn't see stone, then it was also common to see exposed brick. This
Sometimes
would be around
both.
the
Look at that. Look at that. Tell me that there's nothing wrong with that room.
fireplace or just a
Nothing.
plain wall of it.
Why am I getting so excited? I'm mad.
That warehouse feel where they were living. You might also see these brick
Look at that. That looks like the Bradys should be walking down that da 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 da. Here's a
walls
story.
with ceilings. In the 1970s, socializing with neighbors, family, and friends was very popular.
I'm gonna hang out with the neighbor girls. I'm gonna put on my tie.
Once the guests made it to the living room, then they probably had a seat on your floral sofa.
That's Nana sitting on her floral
Also
sofa.
big, bright, and
Oh,
bold.
Nana.
They may have had daisies or sunflowers
Wow.
on them, and what
Again, how did we ever sleep?
nature more than sitting in a field of flowers.
You could get a sunburn just by sitting in that living room.
If the couch wasn't their style, then they would probably pick the chair that was solid colored.
Sure.
It seemed like almost everyone had the Harvest Gold one, but yet
Harvest
you could also
Gold.
see avocado green or persimmon orange. And who could forget the round ottomans that were also in the same popular colors?
That's
at the
what my
time?
little brother sat on when we watched TV.
Beanbag chairs were very popular in the 70s. They could be seen in living rooms, family rooms.
That's the sound when you were on those old vinyl beanbags.
Once you got in them, you were there to stay. They were so comfy. But these lovable beanbag chairs certainly made a mess when they split open.
Ah, and they made you sweat.
These are a common sight in living rooms of today.
And what show are they watching? Hi kids, we're watching the scary Nightmare Fuel clown show.
But in the 1970s, they were a staple in the decorating. They weren't flat and hung on the wall like today. These were
And you just plugged them in and turned them on. You never had to call somebody. Will you come and set my TV up?
basically wooden pieces of furniture that your living room was arranged around.
Yeah.
Not only were these good for watching your favorite television shows,
But when they broke and you bought another TV, you put it right on top of that one.
they also had plenty of room on top for knickknacks and family photos.
And paddywhacks. And then you gave the dog a bone.
Speaking of televisions, TV trays
Oh, those
were very
TV trays were
common.
awesome.
They were perfect for your home.
Look at that's the Reagans. What show were they watching?
Your favorite show?
Dead Valley Days. Wasn't he on that?
You couldn't miss it. There were no VCRs or DVRs back then.
No, back then, if you missed an episode of your favorite show, you had to wait forever until TV Land would be invented to get caught up.
Something else that you might see in living rooms were crocheted blankets.
Everybody had
They were
them.
often made from scratchy wool, so they weren't the best for covering up while watching your favorite movie.
And they had holes. They had big holes. You'd fall asleep and try to cover yourself with that thing, and then you'd wake up and all your fingers and your toes and your nose you'd be like, I'm trapped, help me! We never got any
They could
sleep
be
in the
found on the
70s.
back of the couch or on the ottoman. Maybe your grandmother made these, or maybe mom picked up a new hobby during the winter.
She
while
knitted
watching
in
television.
Afghan.
These crocheted
I'm
blankets
Ted
had
Koppel.
all of the colors and the patterns of the time period which we loved.
We loved them.
You can't hardly mention the 70s and not talk about macrame. This was not only in every home, but it was also all over the house.
We did a unit of macrame in school. We learned macrame, and we made belts, and we made, if you brought in your sticks, we made a macrame owl. Owls were big in the
See these
70s.
as potted plant holders or various
That's when
other
they got the
wall
vote.
hangings, and especially owls. Pottery
Owls
also
and
seemed to be a
mushrooms.
staple in every home,
Big
and it
70s.
really went along with the earthly theme that houses
Oh
had.
man, that's Grandpa
This may
having a
have
cup
been
of
from
coffee
someone
and
in
his
the house picking
white
up a new
V-neck
hobby,
T-shirt.
or from the rise of ceramic artists in the decade. It was not uncommon to see ceramic lamps, vases, and more.
Plates
Fringe was all over the place in the 70s.
all
It
over.
was on vests, and it was even a hairstyle.
Festivals.
But it could also be found in many homes. It may have adorned the top of a doorway, but
Benefits.
it was also frequently found on the top of curtains or on the bottom of lampshades.
Whorehouses.
Apparently, people in the 1970s just enjoyed cleaning more things.
We weren't getting any sleep. We might as well clean.
There are several things that could be found in rec rooms that were unique to the 1970s.
I had a friend that had one of those. It was awesome.
Pod chairs,
You'd
egg
get in it,
chairs,
you'd
ball
get in it.
chairs, or globe chairs.
And then you would try to talk and you'd hear yourself. Hey guys, can you hear me? I'm in the egg chair.
These seats were actually
Look at that one.
quite
Had a
cozy.
built-in.
You may have even had one in your bedroom.
You heard of Walkman? That was a sit,
Lights
man.
were usually
Just have a
somewhere to be
seat,
found
man.
near these chairs.
Fiber optics.
These weird little lamps
Oh,
with colored
available
filaments that
at
glowed lit up
Spencer's
the room,
Gifts.
And everyone
And then
thought
you
they
could
were
play
cool.
with it.
Without them, the room would have been much more gloomy than they already were. Chrome was on every car in the 1970s,
As
but
God
also
intended
found
it to
its way
be.
into the home.
Oh,
Chrome
I like
accents
those.
could be found on
I like
kitchen
those.
chair legs, coffee tables,
I don't like those
appliances,
as much.
and even lamps. A little bit of shine was perfectly.
I didn't like the brown appliances. I like the Harvest Gold. I love the avocado. I'm a snob. My friends had the brown. I didn't like it.
Pyrex dishes are still
Pyrex.
available today, but they are really just plain and clear when compared to the 70s.
We have my wife has some that were my grandmother's, and they're awesome.
Back then, you were proud to display your casserole dish or
Does fruit salad taste better in anything other than something like that? No.
on the table. No kitchen seemed complete without the glass pendant lights that were above the table. These outrageously huge globes.
I like this lady's. I like this lady's. I'm cutting cheese for everyone. I'm cutting cheese for everyone. I'm cutting cheese for everyone. Let's invite the Stepford wives to
Were
brunch.
super popular in the 1970s, and especially so if they were orange.
Like this green one.
Vinyl tablecloths were a must-have on kitchen and dining room
This was my
tables.
mom's kitchen table my entire life growing up, was the vinyl tablecloth.
Helped to protect the wood table that
I don't even know what the table looks like. I don't know what the table looks. I don't think I've ever seen it. I'm cutting cheese for everyone. I'm cutting cheese for everyone. I'm cutting cheese
Everyone
for
thought these were the
everyone.
greatest until someone dropped the cheese in their lap or on the shag
It
carpet.
was the greatest. It still is the greatest. But when I was a kid, they had a version. They made a toy version. Not a toy. Sort of like the Easy Bake Oven. It was a toy fondue set, and you'd melt chocolate, and then you'd put bread or marshmallows or fruit.
Hopefully, you just had them.
You ever had a hot chocolate-covered grape?
Long before we had Keurigs, people had massive coffee makers that made a whole pot of coffee.
A whole pot at once?
Kitchen. There were several different brands, but Mr. Coffee seemed to be one of them.
Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? He was the Mr. Coffee spokesman.
Ones. Care for another pot of coffee?
Joe!
If you were in a house with a second floor, then you probably
had stairs.
They looked
the Brady's! I told you!
They were certainly
That's a beautiful.
Of the 1970s.
Don't care. It's beautiful.
During the 1970s, rattan furniture found its way into the homes from the patio. If you didn't have a peacock chair in your living room, then I'm sure you knew someone who did. Phones in the 70s were meant to last, and they actually had some weight to them.
You could defend your home with one.
Phones can do now, but they definitely served their purpose, which was for talking. Push-button phones became available in 1963.
Couldn't take a picture with them.
But since they were made to last, you probably still had.
We had that exact one, but it was like a tan color. And this is something else. I don't know if people remember. You could play it as a musical instrument if you went 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. You can play Mary Had a Little Lamb on it. Try it if you find one. Go to your grandma's house. I'm sure she still has one. Try it.
In the 70s, then you were certainly embracing the future. Alarm clocks were a necessary item in the 1970s, and people were starting to get fancy ones. Do you remember the alarm clocks that sported numbers that flipped? They made a cool clicking sound. Wood veneer or some bright 70s colors.
Everything had a wood veneer. My very first video game. Not Atari. My first was a Pong. It was the Sears version of Pong, and it had a fake wood veneer. Yeah.
The kitchen appliances of today come in white, black, or stainless steel. But in the 70s, we had different options like yellow or green.
I had a friend that had orange. I had a friend that had a blue. I had a friend that had red.
By the 80s, people just wanted
different. It was a different friend each time.
Gone.
Except at my mom's house, the bathroom sink and downstairs bathroom sink and toilet are still avocado. She just recently got rid of the last vestige, which was the refrigerator. The double ovens. That was the last part to go. Up until just a couple years ago, it was still avocado green in my mom's house.
Was a big deal, and many of these moments were captured on Super 8 film or placed on slides. Family or neighbors would then come over, and they would all gather around for the big show. You certainly don't see these projectors or screens anymore.
Here's my wife on our vacation to Yellowstone. Here's my wife standing next to the "Don't Feed the Bear" signs. Here's my wife feeding the bear. Here's the emergency room sign.
Home stereos were also a common sight in living rooms. The receiver might have been placed on top of the television, or it might have had its own piece of furniture.
Two turntables and a microphone.
Stereo cabinets were the preferred way to go because they could hold all of your
Jim
records
Stafford?
and the coveted 8-tracks. The speakers were often found on the floor on each side of the stereo
8 tracks
or the television.
I had a under the dash mount 8-track player. It was in my car. It was humongous, and the tapes were like the size of a VHS tape, kinda. They were huge, and I loved it. It was all. I thought it was great.
Of course, the speakers and the components were often covered in the faux wood grain of the time. Since we just mentioned records and 8-tracks, let's talk about them. Vinyl records peaked in the 1970s when the concept albums like Eagles' Hotels California came out. The design covers of albums is something that seems to be a lost art.
The cover, the liner notes, the lyrics, the free poster, the smell. You don't even know. If you never experienced it, you don't even know what we've lost as a culture when we got rid of albums. You don't even know.
Seem to be coming back, but one thing that doesn't seem to be coming back is 8-tracks. At the time, everyone wanted an 8-track.
The thing I didn't understand, and I figured it out now, but the thing, when I was a kid, it was an 8-track, had 4 tracks. And now I understand. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. That makes 8. But in my car, it would change tracks, sometimes in the middle of the song, usually in the middle of the song, and it was such a concussive event. Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be.
8-track player in the home and in the car. They were easy to stow away, but it was annoying how your song could be
There it is! That's the kind I had.
Colonial furniture made a comeback.
You had to turn your attention away from the
bicentennial. Regardless, many homes had these
Whoa.
pieces of furniture adorning.
Wow, did you live in a 70s steakhouse? That's awesome.
Their living rooms,
I'll have
bedrooms, and other areas.
I'll have another Coke, please.
I hope you enjoyed this little walk through the 1970s.
I did.
The decade had a style of its own, and it really was.
Okay, the best of Charlie Pride volume. My dad had that exact 8-track. We had an 8-track player in our big wooden stereo system at home. He had that. Oh, Elijah, he never got a kiss. Oh, the snakes crawl at night. That's what they say. Kiss an angel good morning.
Thank you so much.
Love her like a devil when you get back home. Things in the homes of the 70s. Oh, what a great walk down memory lane. This channel is Ready for History, RHETTY for history. Go there now after you give my channel, you're just in time, a thumbs up. Smash down on the thumbs up. Help me with the algorithm. I have some videos that have just a few views, and then I have some that have like several thousand. So let's just come on. It doesn't cost you anything. Give me a like and subscribe. But then make sure you go over to Ready for History and subscribe to them. Check out their channel. It's a great channel. Another great channel. I feel like I'm doing all the work here for you. I'm sifting through the minutia. I'll be right with you. The minutia of the wasteland that is YouTube, and I'm finding these awesome channels for you. Again, this was Ready for History, 1970s things in the American home. Was there anything missing? Was there something in your home, or you remember from a friend's home or a relative's home that brings back memories for you? If so, let me hear from you in the comments below. What's one of the things you kind of miss from the typical 70s home that you wish would come back? Honestly, as advanced as our TVs are today, I miss portable TVs. I miss being able to grab the handle on the top of the TV and just unplugging it and taking it into the next room. When I was homesick as a kid, I would sometimes take the TV with me into the bathroom. What was I doing in the bathroom? That's not important right now. I was homesick. I was either puking or the other. But the point is, I would take it with me. If it was bath night, I would sometimes take it and set it up on the counter and watch a movie while I was taking a bath. It was awesome. I remember one time I was homesick, and I was really sick. I wasn't just school bus sick. Remember school bus sick? Like you were really sick, and your mom would stay over at school, and you had to go to work, and then the bus would leave, and you suddenly felt better. But there was a time I was really sick, and I was laying in my bed on my side. And I took my little black and white TV and I put it on its side next to me on the bed, and I watched TV. So that's one thing I miss. What do you miss from the 70s? Let me hear you down in the comment below. Again, do me a favor, help me with that algorithm, that algorithm. It's what rhythm? The algorithm. I can hear you with the algorithm of the night. Give me a like. Please subscribe. Share, and make sure you comment. This was 70s things found in every home in the 70s. What did we miss? What did Ready miss? This is Ready for History, but this is the channel You're Just in Time. I'm your host, Scotty Goff. The 70s. Was there a better time? Thanks for watching.